right, welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to do something that's going to be not as complicated as some other builds and all the measurements. We're going to have four measurements, just a couple cuts, and we'll be able to put this together. So help me take this piece of pie and turn it into something beautiful for inside your home. So the four simple measurements that you're going to need one 9x17 piece of wood. This here actually measures out to be 3/4 of an inch. I think that'll be just fine. You're going to need 3 other pieces as well. All right, so for measurements for this project, you're going to need one board at 9x17, and this one here is roughly 3/4 of an inch thick. The other shelves that you're going to need, there's going to be 3 of them. They're going to be out of the same piece of wood. You need one at 3x17 and 2 at 8x3. So you're going to have your top, your middle, and your bottom shelf. So come with me. We'll go over to the miter saw. We'll get these cut up and we'll start putting together. The first board is going to be 9x17. All right, so now we need one at 3x17, and then we need 2 at 8x3. All right, now that we're back at the table, we got everything cut up. We got our 2 pieces at 3x8, our next one at 3x17, and our main piece at 9x17. Is we're going to configure our pieces on our backing, which is the 9x17. We're going to space them out. So it's going to be a 3-tier shelving unit. Right, so stick with me. Let's get into that sanding, the things that make you second guess the hobbies that you take on. Now that that fun part is all done and it's out of the way, we will get back to doing some more sanding after, so don't get ahead of yourself here. You just need a little bit of glue. You don't need a whole pile. You don't want it seeping out on the other board. When you go to stain, sometimes that glue doesn't take on the stain like you want it to, so just be mindful of that when you're gluing onto your board. And I think that's where I want to be, right there. All right, so now that that's fastened, let's get on with the other 2 shelves. So there we go. This is almost the finished product. For my stain, what I've chosen is a slate Minwax. Well, you know when you make a decision and you regret that decision? Well, that just happened. So I used the slate Minwax, and to be honest with you, this really didn't do anything for me. But if somebody could let me know in the comments what they think or what they would have done differently with this, I may have to go in and do some sanding once this dries and take this off. Just I don't really like it. So back to the drawing board. We'll let this dry. We'll give her a nice good sand again, and then we'll see what I got just laying around out in the shop that we can stain this with, or we'll just leave it the way it was. All right, so with this project, I decided to go with just an indoor-outdoor Blossom White spray paint. So I haven't spray painted any of my wood creations yet, just used stain. So we're gonna try this, and then we'll see how this goes, and maybe we'll start spray painting some things. So let me finish the front here, and then we'll see how this looks. Now I'm just going to put on its finishing touch, and I'll show you the final project. I've got this bracket here. I believe I've centered it, so I'm about 1 3/8 from the edge. So I'm just going to pre-drill a few little holes here. I don't want to go all the way through. So here it is, my final project. It's a nice 3-tiered wooden shelf with a towel rack, so you can place this in your bathroom, in your kitchen, or you can even take this towel rack off, this hanger here, and you can use it in your living room. I'm going to get it up on the wall. You're going to see that right here. So thanks a lot for following along. You know, we had some bumps and we had some curves that we had to get around, but hey, we finally made it to the end, but here we are. All right. Last thing to do is to get this all set up. What I've gone and done is I put in some keyhole slots on the back. So what I'm going to show you is an easy trick to get this from here mounted on your wall. So with the keyhole slots, all you need to do is grab some tape. It could be masking tape, it could be that green painter's tape, and just put it across your project and across the keyhole holders. Just as so. Grab yourself a trusty pencil, make sure it's sharp, and just kind of put an idea of where that hole is that you want the screw to go into, and it's going to be the bigger part of the hole. All right, the bigger hole that we have. All right, do that, and then we're going to take that off. Then we're going to come over to our trusty wall here, and we're going to eyeball it. All right, because nothing around here is ever perfect. So I've got myself a couple screws, got my drill, and I don't have the right bit. See, nothing ever goes as planned. Be right back. Well, there we go. There's the right bit. That didn't take long at all. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put these screws into the wall. right where we have these holes. All right, so those are in. You can remove your tape if you like, or you can just leave it there. I'd rather remove it. Now, as long as everything goes right, this now should sit up on the wall. And there you go. There's a 3-tiered shelf with a nice little towel rack or cloth rack at the bottom. So there it is. It's up on the wall. My 3-tiered shelf. This can be placed in your kitchen, your bathroom, wherever you like. Put it in your garage. Hey, its possibilities are endless. So, here it is. Please follow me on my next journey. You never know where that's going to take you. We're working on the shop. We're doing all kinds of stuff. We're starting to plant the garden. We're going to get some of the raised beds built. So you might see some of that. I don't know, but everybody seems to do the raised flower beds. I may bring you along the journey, build them, and just take them out there. But hey, who knows? Follow along. We'll see where we go, but we'll do it together. Take care of each other.